I probably won't use all, I think of 20 minutes. I probably won't use it all.
Ah, well.
No, I'd be pretty amazed. I'd probably use a quarter of it. Minister, I just want to say out my stall from the very, very outset, and it'd be no secret that I don't believe, and people for profit do not believe in a two-tier health system. And I think the vast majority of people, and even here, even though we do have a two-tier health system, actually believe in that system anymore. And you look at other countries around the world where they have a kind of a universal healthcare system, and the outcomes are much, much better. And call me old-fashioned, call me out of date. And our party is ideologically driven by that fact for universal healthcare. And that's the reason why we won't be voting for this bill tonight. And I think it compounds the kind of inequalities in our health system. And I understand that this has to be perpetually kind of renewed every year to kind of bring a sense of kind of solidarity and equality into private healthcare. But that's the kind of heart, I suppose that's the kind of inequality in the equality in this, in relation to why do people actually need to go for private healthcare in the first place. And many TDs have said that half of the population in this country have access to private healthcare. And you'd have to kind of question why that is. You know, if you put the facts on the table, the vast majority of people actually believe in public health, and they would pay for public health. But you know, the reason why people go to private healthcare in relation to this private health insurance is on the basis that they believe that they will be waiting X amount of months or sometimes years for particularly for access. And that's correct. That is correct. But governments have allowed that to happen. And once you have a system of a parallel system in a health system or anything, you know, then you will have inequality. Then it's like you can't get away from that inequality in relation to once you have that parallel system. And vast amount of money are spent each year in relation to public funding, in relation to private healthcare, and you know, it's money that, you know, it drifts off, and there is no kind of, I would argue, there is no kind of cost to that and a social exchange to that. And that's, I think, at the heart of a system that's gone wrong. Minister, I just want to kind of go back to last year when the state essentially kind of took over private hospitals. They took over 19 of the private hospitals in the state. And I would hope that we would see there's no such thing as private healthcare. There's no such thing as people having to jump the queue. There's no such thing as people having to you know, get access or go to for private healthcare. There should be one system of healthcare. Now, I don't know if you believe that personally or on a political basis. I don't know. I don't know. That's probably, you're not going to probably be answered that. But all evidence shows that where a system is universal, there's no kind of stages to a healthcare system, the outcomes are much, much better. And you look in Britain, the NHS, which is kind of, is revered more than, I think, even the royal family in Britain. The NHS is the foundation of Britain after World War II. Because if they didn't have a health system, because what the British working class went through over them 6 years, if they didn't have a healthcare system, there would have been a revolution in Britain, because working people have had enough of kind of suffering, and they needed a system that, you know, from cradle to grave, that they would have a system of healthcare. So, with that, Minister, many things have changed over the last 18 months, and this public health emergency has showed us many things, good and bad, mostly good. Humanity has, I think, stepped up to the plate. Public medicine has stepped up to the plate. There's many things gone wrong, you know, but that can't be probably fixed here. But one of the main things that has come out of this and the ongoing public health emergency is that people are asking themselves many, many questions. Governments are asking themselves many questions on what is the right thing to do, what is the thing that people want most from life and society. And this, again, this is emanating from the general election. The general election was defined by a number of things. But the main thing was defined by public services, particularly our health system. And if you put it to most people in this country, do you want a healthcare system that delivers, regardless if you're on social welfare or are a millionaire? The vast majority of people will say they want a health system for all. That kind of, the great solidarity in equality, that was the kind of the main thrust of most healthcare systems in Europe. And that has been the kind of cutting edge of healthcare system. So, Minister, I don't know if Fine Gael or Fianna Fáil can ever change their kind of, I suppose, their ideology. I don't think they are. I don't think they can. I think they're embedded in the market system of healthcare. And on a personal basis, you actually might agree with me. I don't know. You actually might agree that there's no basis for a two-tier health system. But action and words have to be combined. And we can talk about slanted care. I think it's a good policy. Is it largely aspirational? We'll see. We've been talking about this for many, many decades, and we've been talking about a system of a healthcare system that's universal. But people will be judged by their actions, and their actions is: can we deliver for the citizens of this country? Can we deliver a system of universal healthcare? I believe fundamentally, Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil can't. In government, they can't. Once you have a system of private healthcare, in that system, you'll always have a system of inequality. And that's why I think we need a completely change, a transformative change in relation to how politics is done in this country. And unfortunately, it won't be done by Fine Gael or Fianna Fáil in government. Thanks.